Well, over all these years, no one has really found out what the letter C stands for on the Mercedes C-Class. But going by the looks of the new one, it could simply stand for classy. The new C-Class has been designed to look like a smaller version of the S-Class. And Mercedes have simply done a superb job with the styling. Key elements of course include that big Mercedes logo in the grille, lots of chrome and sweeping lines all across. All this of course makes the car look effortlessly stylish and very contemporary and urban at the same time. Most buyers will simply buy this car for its gorgeous looks alone. Well, when it comes to boot capacity, the C-Class has an advantage that the opening that it offers is really very wide, and what that means is that you can put in that big golf bag without any fuss. On the downside though, they have put the spare wheel over here, and that really does take up a lot of the luggage space. Well, if you like the exterior design of this car, then you will simply love this cabin. It really is one of the best designed cars in this class. In fact, I would stretch out my neck and say that this car is the best in terms of interior styling in this segment. And not only is it a very well designed cabin, everything is very good to hold and touch as well, and everything has an air of quality about it, and Mercedes have really put in the best materials inside this cabin. Well, key styling elements of course include these three AC vents in the center. Now of course they get these brushed aluminium surrounds, and all the chrome and aluminium inside the cabin really does have a very nice and plush feel about it. It really feels like a very luxurious car, and whatever money you are spending seems well spent. Apart from being really beautiful, it's also a very practical place to be in. You of course get two cup holders over here. There's a small place to keep your cell phone. You get a big box over here where you can of course also use that USB cable and charge your telephone, and the door bins are actually large enough to hold those big bottles in, so a very practical place inside the C-Class's cabin. Well, Mercedes really loads up the C-Class with the latest equipment. You of course get 7 airbags as standard. You get this big screen which also doubles up as a screen for the reverse camera, along with Bluetooth connectivity for your stereo, and really the works when it comes to equipment from Mercedes. Well, the Mercedes command center can be accessed through this circular button over here, and it really is very easy to operate, and over the years Mercedes have really made it easier and more intuitive to operate, and even when you are driving it really is completely hassle-free to operate. The only slight issue is that this little touch pad over here, where of course you can type things from your finger, can get in the way of this little circular button, and that is something that Mercedes should look at. Well, being a Mercedes means that luxury is paramount, and even the steering wheel has got electronic adjustment, so it adjusts both for rake as well as for reach by the flick of this little button over here. Well, so here I am now in the second row of the C-Class's seats, and first things first, I have adjusted the front seat for my driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10", and even then I've got loads of knee room and good amounts of place to stretch my feet at. The only slight issue is that headroom can be an issue for taller passengers. I'm 5'10", as I just mentioned, and well, I've just got about 2 fingers of space over there, so whoever is 6 feet and above could struggle for headroom at the back. But that said, it's an excellent place to be in, and it's generally a wide car, which means that 3 passengers can sit here in comfort. Another downside is this really tall transmission tunnel, and whoever that third passenger is going to have a hard time struggling for legroom with the other passengers on this side. But other than that, excellent ambience inside the cabin, and once you really shut these doors, this car really does cocoon you from the world outside. Well, so today we're driving the petrol version of this car. This car of course comes with a diesel option as well. You get a 2.2 diesel, but we're not driving that today. We've got the 2-litre 181 bhp petrol motor. Well, of course you can change the driving characteristic of the C-Class by this toggle switch over here, which changes the settings for the suspension, and you can choose from Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort as well as Eco mode. And what that basically does is makes the car's suspension more stiff or softens up to increase comfort, and it really depends on who's sitting here and what his driving preferences are. Well, at the moment we've set the settings in comfort mode. The car feels very stable on the highway, but there's a little bit of stiffness around the suspension, but it's not too much. It doesn't feel uncomfortably stiff, and that means that Mercedes have found a good blend between ride comfort as well as agility. This petrol motor is really supreme on refinement, and it's also a very punchy motor. all you need to do is just smash the accelerator pedal slightly, and this car really does take off. You can also, of course, use the paddle shifters over here behind the steering wheel, which offer you a more engaging experience with the car, and it really does make it one of the better cars, if not the best car in this segment when it comes to driver involvement. The 7-speed automatic from Mercedes is probably one of the best in the business at the moment, and gear shifts are really very quick, and there's very minimal time lag between changing gears, and all you need to do is just use the paddle shifters at the back to get a sense of driver involvement. Well, the C-Class's motor is very punchy and powerful, but it's also a very quiet motor. It's inherently a very silent motor, and that makes the cabin a very relaxing place to be in, and you can actually hear a pin drop inside this cabin, and minimal tire noise and minimal wind noise are the key highlights of this cabin. Well, so in the overall analysis, the C-Class really comes across as a very good all-rounder. It has a very stylish exterior, a very sophisticated interior, not to mention the comfortable ride and punchy set of engines. And even though it is a little more expensive than some of its rivals, remember, all good things come at a price, and the C-Class is definitely one of the better things in life.